Okay, welcome back. In the previous video, we have installed Django in our virtual environment. Now it's the right time to create our first Django project. Currently, I have opened my Git bash terminal in this Django basic folder. Because we have installed Django, we have the access to run Django admin commands. So for creating the Django project, we should run Django admin start project and your project name. So if you go to this Django documentation, you can see the command here. Okay, so here it is saying Django-admin start project and my site. So this my site can be anything, maybe your project name. All right, so I'll go back to my git bash terminal, and what I'll do is I will actually run this command. Okay, so I will copy this, and I will paste it on my terminal. So with this, I will also add one dot here. So this dot means we are telling that the project should be created on the root folder. Okay, so nothing else. All right, I'll hit enter now. Okay, so we have created a Django project. If you go back to your Django basic folder and you see this my site folder, and there is this manage.py file. Okay, and if you go inside this my site, you can see there are a couple of files. All right, I'll talk about these files in a while. So now what I will do is I will open this. Okay, I will open this with the code editor. So right now I have VS Code, so that's why I can simply say code space dot. Okay, so it will open my project folder inside the VS Code editor. Okay, so here you can see I have environment. Okay, so this is my virtual environment, and this is my site project. Okay, so this is the project level directory, and this one is manage.py file. I'll explain what is manage.py file. All right, when we create a Django project, the Django itself creates a root directory with the project name that you give it. In this case, we have created the project name called my site. Okay, so that's why it has created the folder my site. It contains the necessary files that would provide basic functionalities to your web applications so that you can at least run your Django project immediately after creating it. So for example, we have created a Django project. You can simply run our Django project right now. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go to this terminal, or you can simply use this git bash also. All right, so I can use this terminal. So I will simply go to terminal and open here. When I open my terminal, the first thing what I need to do is I should actually activate my virtual environment, right? So whenever you want to work on your project, the first thing you have to do is you have to work, activate the virtual environment. So for that, I'll say source env scripts activate. Okay, so this is for Windows, and if you're using a Mac, you should actually use bin instead of the scripts. Okay, so currently I have my virtual environment activated, and now what I'll do is I will say python manage.py run server. So this is the first command that we run immediately after we creating the Django project. Okay, so don't worry about anything over here. Okay, so our project is running, and as you can see, the development server has started at http 127.0.0.1 8000 port. Okay, so you can simply copy this one. Okay, and go to your browser and paste it. Okay, hit enter. So you can see the install worked successfully. Okay, so that means our Django application is up and running. Okay, so this is the basic one, so we don't need anything in this page. So I just wanted to show you how to run the server. All right, now I want you to have a look at these file structures. Okay, so the very first file that I want to show you is this manage.py. Okay, so this is one of the very important file that comes with Django project. Manage.py is actually a command line utility that lets you interact with the Django project in various ways. Okay, so you can think of this file as a tool for executing many Django specific tasks by running Django commands. Okay, for running the development server, we use python manage.py run server. As we did right now, we just ran this python manage.py run server, right? Similarly, for creating a new app in a project, we use Python manage.py, start app, and your app name. All right. And for creating the super user, we use Python manage.py create super user command. All right. For changing the passwords, we use Python manage.py change password with your username. Okay. For creating the tables, we use Python manage.py migrations and migrate commands, and a lot more administrative tasks can be done using manage.py file. In the future lectures, I will explain you in detail on how these commands work. Okay, so there are actually a couple of commands you will be using, more frequently. I will make a list of most used commands and attach it in the resource section of this video, so you can download it for your reference. And don't worry if you don't understand it right now. I know it can be a little bit difficult to understand for the beginners, especially these commands. Okay, so as we do more practice projects, automatically you will understand how these files and commands work. Okay, and one more thing, you don't ever have to edit this manage.py file until you become an expert Django developer. Okay, and there is this file called db.sqlite3. Okay, so Django by default comes with the SQLite3 database with the necessary configuration, so you don't have to worry about the database configuration for learning and building the simple Django applications. Okay, so for the advanced project, we will usually replace this SQLite3 database with some other databases such as MySQL or Postgres. We will talk more about these database in the later projects. All right, moving forward, the next thing I want to show you is this my site directory. Okay, so this is the project level directory where most of the Django specific configuration resides. It is also an actual Python package for your project. All right, inside this project, the first file you see here is this init__.py. Okay, so if you open this file, you see that there is nothing in this file. It is an empty file. Okay, you can ignore this file if you want to, because you don't ever have to do anything with this file. But you know what, let's try to understand what is the purpose of this file. All right, well, before we try to understand what is this init.py file is, we need to first know something called Python package. In simple words, a package is basically a folder that contains a collection of modules. So modules are nothing but Python files that defines functions, classes, and variables. All right, and adding an empty file with the name of __init__py tells Python interpreter that this directory is no more a simple folder, it's a Python package. Okay, so shall we delete this empty file? No. If you delete it, you cannot import modules from one package to another. Okay, so that means when you are a software developer, you always need to reuse your code. Okay, so if you have written a function in one package and you want to reuse that function inside another package, we usually import that function to wherever we want to use it. Okay, so that we don't need to write it again and again. Okay, we write once and we use it wherever we want. So those importing things happens because of this init.py file. Simple. Okay, and the next file we will look at is this wsgi file. Don't worry, I'm not skipping these files. I will tell them one by one. So I think I should first explain this wsgi.py file. All right, and this is mainly concerns with the WSGI server, and it is used for deploying our applications on the production server like Apache or Nginx. WSGI stands for Web Server Gateway Interface. It can be thought of as a specification that describes how the servers should interact with web applications. As a beginner, you don't have to understand the code written in this file because we're not changing anything here. All right, and next this one asgi.py. Okay, so this asgi works similar to wsgi, but it comes with some additional functionality. Okay, so asgi stands for asynchronous server gateway interface, and again, as a beginner, you don't have to understand the code written in this file because we are not changing anything here. All right, so then we have this urls.py. Okay, so we have this urls.py. So URL is a universal resource locator. It contains all the endpoints that we should have for our website. Okay, so it is used to provide you the address of the resources such as images, web pages, websites, etc. In simpler words, this file tells Django that if a user comes with this URL, direct them to that particular website or image or whatsoever it is. All right. And finally, we have this settings.py file. Okay. So this file is the most important file in Django project, and it is used for adding all the configurations of our Django project. By default, this settings.py file comes with some basic settings that we need to run our project. Okay, so there are a couple of settings in this settings.py file. I will explain all of these configurations in the next video. So this is all about the project level file structure, and there is one more thing called app level file structure. Okay, so we will discuss about that in the later stages of this section. In the next video, we will explore a little bit more about this settings.py. Okay, so because I just want to show all of these configuration and how these things work. Okay, thank you.